is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No. Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Welcome to DBL.
All
Am
right.
I too low?
Yeah, you're loud and low. Yeah, all right, there we go.
I think you said welcome.
I said welcome, but so excited to have these two guys here who are going to make fun of me for the next half hour.
Yes, of course.
Today we are following up on a few stories we've been talking about recently. Up first, we got to get to this. Candace Cameron Bure is responding to all the backlash she got from an interview where she said her new partnership with Great American Family Channel would, quote, keep traditional marriage at their core. Several stars interpreted that as anti-gay, some calling this comments bigoted. So now Candace is responding, saying, quote, it absolutely breaks my heart that anyone would ever think I intentionally would want to offend and hurt anyone. It saddens me that the media is often seeking to divide us, even around subjects as comforting and merry as Christmas movies. She goes on to say, I had also expressed in my interview, which was not included, that people of all ethnicities and identities have and will continue to contribute to the network in great ways, both in front and behind the camera, which I encourage and fully support. Okay, so what do you think of Cameron's statements? Talk to me, Jeffrey.
I don't know. Listen, there's a lot there because when you talk about the media dividing it, you're the one who said it, right?
Right.
And if that's your core values, right? I want to get down to that too, right? Especially like the JoJo Siwa thing versus her. If she believes this is what is right, and JoJo believes this is what is right, who is wrong? Right? So in her core values, she might really think that way. And in large part, she's wrong if you're going to look at it socially. But if you hold those values, why don't you just play them out? Why don't you just do what you want to do? Do you need to express those values, which do sound bigoted? Right? Why would you express that? Just do what you want to do, what you believe is your truth, and play that out. If people want to watch, they'll watch. If people don't, they don't. But now you have a whole different problem on your hands, right?
I agree. I feel like she stepped in something she didn't need to in any way. It was sort of inefficient and unnecessary. Al, do you think she needed to have an apology?
Do you guys see it that way?
I've thought about this a lot. You know, the first thing I thought about this morning is this, we just talk like friends up here, was what Erica had to say about this topic yesterday, calling them, she so eloquently was like, this is bigoted, call a spade a spade, it is what it is.
I wasn't here. Why? What did she say?
Erica just basically was like, let's not tiptoe around this. When you don't include people, and especially when you say we're doing traditional marriage, that's a dog whistle for no gay marriage. And she was like, that's bigoted and it's not right.
Discriminatory. In some ways, right? Like cutting out a group of people.
And I agreed with that. You know me, I always look at the money. I'm always like, if there is a group of people that want to see this to the point where there's a network that is designed around, air quotes, traditional marriage, traditional Christmas, let them have it. And then because they are not letting the people that people want to see in there, that will then open up a lane, as it always does for capitalism. I compared it to with the bras, when there was like companies that wouldn't make bras in brown and caramel skin, and other companies came, Third Love, and made millions of dollars. So I feel like it all comes out in the wash. One thing, I didn't think, Jeff, that they should have set her up like this. I think if she knew she was going to have media, she should have had a response prepared for this, because she can't answer for the network and shouldn't have been made to. But also, yes, it is bigoted. It's super disappointing, but I'm not going to watch that channel. But people that do hold traditional values, which do have ad dollars to spend, will. So now we have this weird juxtaposition of, is it okay for them to provide a service for people that are willing to pay for it? That's where I keep coming back to. For me, obviously, I'm an advocate of LGBTQIA, have been before that was even a title. I've been on this train for about 20 years, y'all. But I also understand that money takes care of a lot of problems.
That makes sense. Okay, so here's Bill Abbott. He is the former CEO of Hallmark, and now he started the Great American Family Channel, saying it hopes to be a leader in quality family. He says, responding to Candace, it's certainly the year 2022, so we're aware of the trends. There's no whiteboard that says yes, this, or no, we'll never go there. And a lot of people are saying, like, it's not a trend to be gay. Does that read wrong? Did this come out wrong to either of you? Or is it staying with what Candace Cameron Bure is saying?
What do you think?
What do you think?
I have thoughts.
I I think Candace Cameron Bure makes absolutely no sense in this apology. I don't, and it's not an apology. I don't understand it. Is she saying there will be?
I wasn't trying to hurt feelings, but this is how, like Jeff said, this is how I feel. She's saying this is how I feel. She's
saying to the members of the media responsible for using this opportunity to fan flames of conflict and hate, I have a simple message for you. I love you anyway. We didn't fan anything. She brought this to us and made a divisive, somewhat bigoted, in my opinion, comment. Why is the media being blamed if she's the victim?
Well, the media, Brett Favre blamed the media. Everybody's going to blame the media. That's not, that's part of the course.
I think it's simple to blame the media because they do, in part, fan the flames in a lot of situations. This might not be one of them.
Right.
We can talk about this during the break because we could go all day with this.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, well, next up, we've been talking a lot about Brendan Fraser's big comeback and all the buzz surrounding his new film. Are we still going? The Whale, which hits theaters December 9th.
They just wanted to spice it up. We were dragging our feet a little bit.
Some are saying Brendan is a big contender this award season, but in a new interview with GQ, Brendan says he will not be attending the Golden Globes even if he's nominated. Brendan said, I have more history with the Hollywood Foreign Press Association than I have respect. No, I will not participate. My mother didn't raise a hypocrite. In case you don't understand this, this is the story. Brendan's history with the Hollywood Foreign Press includes allegations that the former president of the association groped him at a luncheon in 2003. Now, the president denies those allegations, but what do you think of Brendan's position here? Would you go to the Golden Globes if this happened to you? Do you feel like it makes him a hypocrite? And also, would just showing up there be somewhat triggering? What do you guys think?
I don't think it makes him a hypocrite at all if he wants to go, right? It's his decision, ultimately. I respect it either way. But I think he could also prove some sort of statement saying, this was a long time ago, almost 20 years ago. I'm back. This will never happen again. And I'm going to speak out against it, right? The way things used to have been run and the ways things are now. I want him to get, if he's going to get an Oscar, which there's a lot of buzz around his award season, I want him to get what's coming to him, right? If he's going to make that comeback, he deserves to be on that stage and get a round of applause. But I also know, listen, spite is the thing that drives me. And there could be 20 years or 30 years, I'm going to stand my ground and say, you know what, you did me wrong 20 years ago. I don't forget that. And I might not come and accept that award.
I was going to ask you, would you be there?
I don't know. It's very tough. It's very tough. For me, as a fan of Brendan Fraser, I want him to go. I want him to go and get over whatever happened, and that's not saying it's easy to do or something like that. I want him to get what's coming to him in that round of applause if it is an Oscar indeed.
Yeah, well, speaking of getting what's coming to him, I feel like Hollywood is getting their comeuppance in a way because all these stars that they treated like this, I feel like we always look at this per individual person. We go, Amanda Bynes, so crazy, she lost her mind. Britney Spears, so crazy, lost her mind. Corey Haim, so crazy, lost their mind. Jeanette McCurdy, so crazy. It's like, it's so weird. All these kids that are on a rocket ship to fame, all of a sudden flame out in a way that manifests itself in face tattoos, massive weight gains, complete disappearance, drug addiction, and we all just look at it these random occurrences, and that's the way that we get past everything as a society we don't want to really focus on. We just call it crazy. Oh, that's crazy. Is it crazy? We're starting to see that all these allegations about there being an island where famous kids and models were being molested. That same island appeared in the Abercrombie and Fitch documentary. It's so interesting but none of these people were prosecuted. Nothing happened until some of them either died or were so old they were too old to almost even face trial. And I think that we're seeing all of these people come back as adults. Brendan Fraser that dropped off the map after he was the hottest actor on the planet.
The Mummy, remember The Mummy? Yeah.
So I think there's a lot more questions than we have answers, but I think we have answers we don't want to discuss.
Interesting. I support his decision, and also, even though it's called The Whale, I will be seeing it. I'm scared of whales, and I still will go.
That's a big deal.
Big deal. Coming up.
I don't think there are whales in that.
I don't think so either.
Way to break through, Tori. You and Brendan Fraser need to be on that stage.
I'm willing to watch.
Yeah, we'll be there together. Our interview with Joe Mantegna, he is talking all about his role on Criminal Minds Evolution.
And he's talking about me.
He didn't talk about you, and a lot of people are left disappointed by the ticket sales for Taylor Swift's tour, including Tori. Does Taylor have a responsibility to speak up?
There's going to be a lot of internet chatter. That's where the red flag goes up.
We are never going to agree on this. It's ignorant, and for me, it was just like a damn shame.
Tell me I need to do something, I'm going to do the exact opposite.
You know why I don't call in sick? Camera hog.
So she does have.
Jeff, we didn't get a chance to talk about Jay Leno. Did you see he was in
Yeah.
Do you think about that? Because you do a lot of home repair.
I don't
ever think about seriously hurting yourself.
No, I don't really. I get a little nervous with electrical stuff, and it really scares me. And working on cars, Jay Leno. I mean, if anyone's gonna be working on cars, I think he knows what he's doing. But why? Here's my question. It's actually funny. I was filming something else yesterday. Me and Pete were talking, and Pete said, Jay Leno knows so much about cars. Why would he have an open gas line next to something that's going to spark? And he kind of brought up a conspiracy theory about it. You know what I mean? But I was thinking about, I'm like, why would he do that? But accidents happen, right? I don't want to bring a conspiracy theory against an injured man. But I
think the better you get at things, the kind of lazier you get. Where the first time you're ever working with a saw or something like that. You're watch your fingers, blah, blah, blah. But by year 17, you're talking on the phone, anyway, running some wood through it.
Hi, guys.
You get comfortable. And I think that's probably what
listen, that was just a conversation we're having on the side. I'm not starting any conspiracies. No, but it was interesting. I'm like, why would he do it? So it must have been, it's an accident.
Yeah, right? I just think a lot of things. I don't know if I ever told you, I was using I don't know.
What's an accident?
I was just talking to him, because we were talking about Jay Leno, but also the accidents you can just have getting too comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
And I cut a lot of boxes at my house because I get a ton of Amazon boxes, and so I cut them with that saw that's got the one knife on it. You can almost use it to cut turkey for the low. You know what a turkey cutter looks like, but it's a high power one.
The electric carving knife?
It looks like no, but it's like that, but it's for industrial use.
You just use a box cutter?
No, mine is mechanical. I've so many boxes at my house. Dude. One time I was using it, and I got distracted, and I put it down. It was on, and it cut the tip of my shoe off.
Oh my God!
And I was like, oh my
Get a box cutter.
I have a box. It takes forever.
You're so loud, it might be my iPhone.
Candace Cameron Bure, we're interviewing her.
Welcome back. There's more fallout over the Taylor Swift ticket fiasco. As we mentioned, millions of fans weren't able to purchase tickets to her upcoming tour, including yours truly, after Ticketmaster's site faced some glitches during the pre-sale. Now, Tennessee's Attorney General is launching a full investigation into the company after his office was flooded with complaints. Senator Amy Klobuchar, says she is concerned about the lack of competition in the ticketing industry, considering Ticketmaster is the main seller for big concerts. But the one person still silent on the matter is Miss Swift herself. Thoughts?
Go for it.
I wouldn't say a word. I think this is the Candace Cameron Bure situation. Once again, she's the front of the house. The back of the house takes care of the tickets and the lights and bathrooms. It's the same here. What is she going to say? I'm going to overhaul Ticketmaster? What can she do?
I agree with you. However, being a Taylor Swift Swiftie, she is very involved with her fans. She talks to us. She gives us Easter eggs. She gives us diary journals. We can get special things. I know that doesn't sound so weird to you guys.
We only have 2 minutes.
Okay,
let's get to
what
it.
I'm saying is, for something like this that caused an enormous amount of customer service failure on her part, it is in her genre to speak out to the fans because she speaks to us like she knows us. So we're all sort of waiting for that.
But if she
doesn't have to.
And I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you off. I don't have a ton of time. If she speaks out, I would think that that's just going to cause a greater tsunami versus what's already going on. Because if she goes, hey, you guys write into Ticketmaster and tell them you hate it, well, now it's going to completely make it more of a cumbersome process. I think it's better to be silent in this case, especially since last I checked, Taylor Swift has a lot of awards, but none of them for customer service.
Yeah, listen, I'm not even blaming Taylor Swift in this one, because if you deal with Ticketmaster at all, it's a whole experience in itself, other than who the artist is. I've had many instances where I was unhappy with Ticketmaster. I'm telling you, this stinks like Jeffrey Epstein's island. Someone needs to go in there and clean house at Ticketmaster. Anytime I want to take money out of Ticketmaster because I sold a ticket, I got to fill out like a W-2 form, even though I'm not making money off the ticket. I'm losing money because you charge me $140 in processing fees.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and then when I get an update for tickets that you've held on to for the past 2 years, like Justin Bieber or Def Leppard, you can invest those millions into some small interest gaining fund and take all that money out. Now you just profited off of everyone's money that you didn't pay back any interest on.
Whoa.
And I'm telling you, something stinks. And now the Attorney General is getting involved. And I'm telling you, this story is going to go further. If Taylor Swift is staying quiet, it's because her attorneys are like, be quiet. This is a bigger deal than you and I both know about. I'm calling it right now. Ticketmaster is going down because it's a scam.
Ooh, and I will agree. I do think that her attorneys were like, keep quiet. Don't shake it off. We'll be right back.
I love you so much.
Sorry.
Turkey is a staple on the dinner table for most people on Thanksgiving, but some people on social media are complaining about pricey poultry. Senators Ted Cruz and Marsha Blackburn tweeted to their combined nearly 4 million followers that turkey prices are up 17% this year. So let's verify. Are turkey prices up 17% this year? Our sources are the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and the American Farm Bureau. The BLS tracks prices of everyday items to measure changes in the economy. In October, the BLS found the cost of foods considered other poultry, such as turkey, Cornish game hen, and goose, increased 17% over last year. However, that doesn't mean that's what it'll cost you to buy a turkey for Thanksgiving, because retailers tend to heavily discount turkeys for the holidays. The USDA tracks the price of turkey on a more granular level by surveying supermarkets nationwide every week. Its data shows for the week ending November 16th that the average sales price of a frozen turkey is up only 8% over last year, while the cost of a fresh turkey is up just 1%. So this claim needs context. While the price of turkeys is higher than last year, it isn't as high as the 17% cited by the BLS for consumers during the holidays. The Farm Bureau says inflation isn't the only reason poultry prices are higher. More than 40 million birds, including 6 million turkeys, were killed by avian flu this year. Still, all of our sources expect there will be enough turkeys to meet demand for Thanksgiving. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Escape the cold with the luxury included vacation to Sandals Resort's newest location, Sandals Royal Curacao. Enter at dailyblastlive.com/sandals for your chance to win.
Welcome back. You know him as the most seasoned profiler in the FBI. Now Joe Montana is back playing David Rossi in Criminal Minds Evolution. And you also might know him as Fat Tony from The Simpsons. Earlier we spoke with him all about his new role on the new show. Take a look. You guys, Joe Montana.
Yeah.
Welcome back to DBL. Hi there, Joe. How are you? Can I call you Joe?
Please do.
Thank you. You have been playing one of my favorite characters, Fat Tony, on The Simpsons for over 30 years. You said he's based on your late Uncle Willie. Did you ever watch any episodes with your uncle? What did he think of Fat Tony? Totally so.
Oh, he liked Fat Tony very much. Like when I brought him to the recording one maybe year 15, I brought him to the studio with me, and I said, I want you to meet somebody. And of course he said, hi everybody, how you doing? And it was like instantly, whoa, that's him. Ground zero for Fat Tony. So yeah, I think he was somewhat flattered that I immortalized him forever.
It's a great character.
I love that. You got to pay homage to the ancestors.
That's right.
So you live in LA now, but you're a Chicago kid just like me. So what is the one thing that you miss most about living in Chicago?
Wow. Well, it used to be the Italian beef sandwiches and the deep dish pizza. Then my wife opened a restaurant here called Taste Chicago in Burbank, California for 16 years. So I was able to get my share of that up until, then we finally closed the restaurant ultimately. But, outside of that, I mean, I'll always be a Chicagoan. I mean, when I open my mouth, nobody mistakes me as being from anywhere else. Yeah. But it's my heart's in Chicago, but I love being out in California. I feel pretty blessed just to be anywhere. You know what I mean? I've had a pretty good life.
I would say so. And speaking of your heart, you met your wife, Arlene, in high school, and you guys have been together for 50 years. I'm going to repeat that.
Mazel tov.
50 years. So you have to tell, I'm a recently single man, so you have to tell me, like, how'd you lay the game down? How'd you woo her?
I don't know. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what I mean? So far, so good. But we have a lot in common, if nothing else. You figure over 50 years of that relationship, and so it's just been great. Really, the truth is, I'm Desi to her Lucy. I'm just really.
Oh man.
She stirs the drink. I'm just here for the ride. Maybe the face in the public, but she really runs the show.
I love that.
That's how you stay together for 50 years.
Congratulations. How inspiring.
That's beautiful.
So you are reprising your character, David Rossi, in Criminal Minds Evolution. Tell us about the title. How is this an evolution of Criminal Minds?
Well, it really is an evolution because, as you may well know, network television is wonderful. It's been very, very good to me. I was on Criminal Minds on CBS for 13 years, but going on to streaming now, it's kind of expanded the parameters. In other words, we're able to tell stories in a way that's even the intensity level. It really is an evolution. I mean, even some of the language has been, for many years I've been going to Europe, and in Europe you turn on the TV and you go, even 30 years ago, you go, wow, they're able to say that, they're able to show that.
Yes.
And I always used to think that, like, what is it about, and I understand you have to have certain kind of limits and parameters and things, but now I think we're able to tell these stories really with the blinders off and not doing it just for shock value or anything, because our show had a certain shock value to it anyway, just because of the subject matter. But I think we're able to really get into it and really tell these stories in somewhat of even a serialized manner that we're doing over these 10 episodes we're doing initially here. And it really is an evolution. I think we've upped the game, and I think the quality of the show we all feel it's just we've taken it to a new level.
Joe, thank you so much. We can't wait to see this story continue. DBL Nation, catch Criminal Minds Evolution only on Paramount Plus, premiering November 24th. Joe Monte.
Always a pleasure.
Thanks again. So great seeing you.
Thanks,
we'll
brother.
be right back.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Fat Tony.
Congrats on 50 years.
Bye-bye.
Today's Sandals word of the day is
Snorkel. Enter at dailyblastlive.com/sandals for your chance to win a 4-day, 3-night escape for 2 to beautiful Curacao.
We all have our own digital footprint. It's the trail of data you leave behind when browsing the internet or posting on social media. It's not inherently a bad thing, but it can threaten your privacy and leave you vulnerable to cyber criminals. Can you totally disappear online? I took my question to cybersecurity experts. Aaron Weaver with Hack.com helps people recover their information after a cyber attack, and Dr. Mark Heckman is a cybersecurity professor at the University of San Diego.
I don't think it's possible to completely disappear. I mean, that would have to be your full-time job.
It's extremely difficult. It would be a full-time job.
Okay, so they both agree on that. They also recognize it's unrealistic because of how integrated the internet has become in our day-to-day life.
So we have to come up with trade-offs, some balance between convenience and privacy.
They both have tips on how to reduce your digital footprint and prevent companies from tracking and saving your data.
One thing you can do when you're browsing on the internet is use incognito mode or stealth mode.
With one easy click, this mode stops your web browser from saving data about you. It will disable your search history and delete login and autofill information. For further protection, they recommend purchasing a VPN, known as a virtual private network. This encrypts your data while hiding your location and IP address.
There's a lot of data collection sites. You never really know how much data they have on you, from your email to your phone number to your birth certificate.
Known relatives, all the addresses you've ever lived, jobs you've had.
Thousands of companies are collecting, aggregating, and trading your personal information without you knowing. You can request each data broker site to take down your information, which is a lot of work. Experts suggest paying for a service like Delete Me or Incogni. Another option is asking Google to remove you from search engines through filling out this form. Most websites these days come with a pop-up window asking about cookies. Should you accept or reject?
If you allow the cookies, you've just said, I'm consenting to be tracked. You can track me no matter which website I go to. From now on, you'll know where I'm going, and you'll keep that in a database someplace, and you'll have a picture of who I am and what my interests are.
If you're sharing private data like your social security number or banking information, you should reject the use of cookies. To go completely dark, you must delete all your social media accounts. But most don't want to do that. So an important tip is never go through Facebook when signing up for another app or website.
So if that app gets hacked, their Facebook will get hacked.
Always opt into using your email address with a brand new password.
You definitely want to deactivate old accounts.
Because companies could be storing things like your credit card information. Major organizations are being hacked, and now you can easily find out if your information has been stolen. Use the website haveibeenpwned.com.
Just type in your email and it'll have a whole list of all the data breaches for the accounts that you're signed up for.
And for one extra layer of privacy, you can remove your home from Google Street View. Click on Report a Problem at the top of your screen and fill out the form where you can select to blur it out.
Hackers can use any information that you have out there.
A reminder that less is more when sharing on the internet.
Welcome back. It's Thursday, so that means we have some great products from our friends at Morning Save. Check them out. All right, Steph, what do you have for us today?
Hi, Tori. Hello, DBL Nation. First up, we've got the Foxy Bay Blowout Babe 3-piece hair kit.
Yes.
So this deal includes one blowout brush, which I'm obsessed with, one heat protectant spray, and one styling cream. And normally it's $226, but we've got this set for $29.99, which is saving 87%. And then next up, we've got the Glow Lit Teeth Whitening Device Tech Kit with Bluetooth.
What?
So fancy. This deal includes one mouthpiece, which is in here, one storage case, one rechargeable power pack, 7 teeth whitening vials, one lip care, and one travel pouch. So normally this is $149, but we've got it for $59.99, saving 60%. And our next product is a great gift for makeup lovers. We've got such a good lineup today.
I know.
It's the Cover FX Glow Into Overtime 3-piece bestseller kit. So this deal includes one primer, one enhancer drops, and one setting spray. So normally this set is $39, but we've got it for $17.99 for the whole kit. So that's saving you guys 54%. And then last but not least, we have got the Floor Police cordless motorized mop for tile and wood floors.
Whoa.
So this deal includes one mop with 2 scouring pads and 2 microfiber pads and 2 polishing pads. Normally they're $60, but Morning Save have got them for $29.99, saving you guys 50%.
Head on over to morningsave.com to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices, or you can even just scan the QR code. It's right on your screen, and it will take you directly to these products on Morning Save's website. Steph, as always, thank you so much. All right, a lot of you writing in about Taylor.
Why are you so close to me now?
Oh my
You kept dragging your stuff over here.
Oh my gosh.
Do you see what happens when you're over here and you think I'm being mean? I'm like, why don't you stay in your zone?
Oh my gosh. I don't have really good, strong boundaries.
Okay.
Well, we need to work on that.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Bye, guys. I'll be over here.